Sophie Cunningham wasn't supposed to be the WNBA's next big star. After all, she wasn't following the usual path that so many athletes before her did. No glitzy PR campaigns, no drama-filled rivalries, and no manufactured branding. She wasn't out there trying to make headlines or chase viral moments. Yet, in less than 48 hours, Sophie went from a relatively unknown player to the most talked-about name in women's basketball. With nothing but raw talent, unapologetic authenticity, and one bold move, a simple Arby's t-shirt. While the rest of the WNBA continues to chase viral moments, orchestrated feuds, and Instagram-ready aesthetics, Sophie Cunningham stood out by doing something revolutionary. She stayed real. No gimmicks, no filter, just basketball, honesty, and a quirky sense of humor that caught the attention of fans in a way no carefully crafted marketing campaign ever could. But how exactly did Sophie's authentic vibe manage to outshine years of corporate hype and marketing noise? And what does this sudden surge in her popularity say about the future of the WNBA? Sophie Cunningham isn't like the other stars in the WNBA. While many athletes are caught up in the cycle of curated images and perfectly crafted personas, Sophie has done the complete opposite. She's built her rise on being herself, unapologetically real, raw, and in your face. There's no PR team behind her, no stylist to pick her outfits, and certainly no script to follow. Just pure basketball talent, gritty determination, and a personality that fans can't help but gravitate toward. In a league that often feels like it's more about the brand than the game, Sophie is a breath of fresh air. She doesn't need an extravagant story to make people care about her. She doesn't rely on viral TikTok dances or carefully orchestrated soundbites to stay in the spotlight. Sophie simply shows up, puts in the work, and lets her play do the talking. And, surprisingly, that's exactly what fans are responding to. In a world where everything feels staged, Sophie's authenticity stands out in a way that is both refreshing and powerful. It's this rawness that makes her different from the rest. She isn't trying to be the next influencer or reality TV star. She's just playing basketball and living life on her terms. And maybe that's why people are flocking to her in record numbers. Sophie isn't chasing fame. Fame is chasing her. This section highlights Sophie's authentic approach and sets the stage for the rest of the script, emphasizing how her realness distinguishes her from the performance-driven culture of the league. It all started with a simple t-shirt, nothing more than a fast food joke. Really, but that's exactly what made Sophie Cunningham go viral. On the surface, it was just a quirky Arby's shirt, but in the context of a league struggling to find its true stars, it was a masterstroke of authenticity. Sophie wore that shirt without overthinking it, without a PR campaign behind it, and the internet immediately took notice. It was a real moment in a league that often feels staged, and it instantly resonated with fans. While other players were busy working with expensive marketing teams, pushing curated looks, and crafting the perfect Instagram post, Sophie managed to steal the spotlight by doing absolutely nothing special except being herself. There was no influencer tie-in, no viral stunt, just a $12 t-shirt and a grin that could melt anyone's heart. It wasn't a carefully planned moment. It was Sophie's personality shining through in a way that no manufactured brand ever could. And it wasn't just the shirt that grabbed attention. It was the message behind it. Sophie wasn't trying to be anything other than who she is. In a league where everything feels polished and pre-planned, Sophie showed fans that authenticity can be more powerful than any ad campaign. And just like that, she became an internet sensation, with people talking about her not just for her on-court skills, but for the fact that she dared to be different in a space that's often too busy trying to fit a mold. This section underscores the power of Sophie's unintentional viral moment and how it reflects the larger shift happening in the WNBA, where authenticity is now outshining carefully constructed image building. What happened next was nothing short of meteoric. Sophie Cunningham's authenticity turned into a full-blown movement. In less than 48 hours, her social media following skyrocketed from under 300,000 to over 700,000, an insane leap by any standard. And it wasn't just a numbers game. It was a testament to the fact that fans were craving something real. Sophie's rise wasn't about buying followers or manipulating algorithms. It was about showing up, being herself, and letting her personality do the heavy lifting. What makes Sophie's fanbase so unique isn't just the size, but the connection she's built with her followers. These aren't just casual fans. They're loyal supporters who respect her for more than just her game. They admire her for her honesty, her no-nonsense attitude, and the fact that she doesn't need a gimmick to win hearts. In an era where most athletes are hustling for likes, shares, and sponsors, Sophie's ability to generate real buzz without playing by the usual rules is a game changer. And it's not just social media where she's making waves. Sophie's jersey sold out on the Indiana Fever website within days, with fans clamoring to get their hands on the same shirt she wore to make her viral moment happen. The sellout wasn't a fluke, it was proof that people are ready to support athletes who stay true to themselves. Sophie's fanbase isn't a product of marketing or hype, it's a direct reflection of the fact that authenticity, not performance art, is what fans are truly connecting with. What Sophie did in such a short time wasn't just build a following, it was to redefine what it means to be a fan favorite in the modern sports world. No longer is it about who's got the flashiest promo, it's about who can keep it real. This section emphasizes Sophie's rapid rise in popularity, focusing on how her authenticity fueled the growth of a loyal fanbase that isn't just about numbers but about genuine connection and respect. While Sophie Cunningham's star was rapidly rising, the WNBA found itself stuck in a branding rut. For years, the league has been caught up in a cycle of trying to create stars through marketing gimmicks, catchy slogans, and influencer partnerships. Yet, no matter how much the league pushed flashy TikTok dances or viral moments, it's clear they've struggled to turn their true talent into household names. The problem isn't the athletes, it's the system built around them. The WNBA has been slow to recognize that real stars don't need to be manufactured. They don't need a perfectly crafted narrative or a forced storyline. What Sophie Cunningham is proving is that you don't need to chase viral moments or focus on visibility for the sake of visibility. True visibility comes from talent, authenticity, and consistency. And that's something the WNBA hasn't fully grasped. Sophie didn't need a media blitz or a team of marketers to push her name. She simply needed to be herself, and the rest followed naturally. This disconnect is more than just a branding issue. It's a reflection of the larger problem within the league. The focus on style, clout, and drama has overshadowed what matters: the game itself. When you put the focus on athletes who are genuine, who have undeniable skill and charisma, the spotlight naturally shines on them. But for the WNBA, it feels like the spotlight is still being diverted to the sizzle instead of the substance. And that's where Sophie's success is so telling. While the league continues to chase clout through influencers and viral moments, Sophie is showing them that authenticity isn't just refreshing, it's what fans want. She's proving that you don't need to play the game of manufactured hype when your game itself is enough to keep fans coming back for more. This section addresses the WNBA's struggle to build authentic stars, contrasting it with Sophie's organic rise to popularity, underscoring how the league's focus on image building rather than substance is holding it back. Sophie Cunningham's meteoric rise didn't just stop at social media attention. Her authenticity and relatable persona translated into real-world success. In one of the clearest signs of her growing influence, Sophie's jersey completely sold out on the Indiana Fever website within days of her viral moment. It wasn't just a coincidence or a fleeting trend. This was a clear signal that fans were more than willing to support an athlete who felt genuine and unfiltered. The sellout wasn't about marketing budgets or hype. Sophie didn't have a massive ad campaign behind her, and her merch didn't come with flashy endorsements. It was simply about being real. The fanbase Sophie's built respects her for her hustle, her no-nonsense attitude, and most importantly, her ability to stay true to herself in a world that often rewards performance over substance. People are buying into her not because they were told to, but because they genuinely admire her for what she represents. What's striking about this moment is how it highlights a disconnect within the WNBA. While other players focus on manufactured visibility and orchestrated publicity stunts, Sophie Cunningham's rise proves that there's another way forward. Authenticity is the new currency, and Sophie has managed to turn that into a booming brand. The fans who bought her jersey didn't just see a player, they saw someone they could connect with, someone who wasn't afraid to stand out for the right reasons. In a league where athletes often struggle to connect with their audience beyond the court, Sophie has bridged that gap effortlessly. It's not just about basketball for her fans, it's about supporting someone they believe in, both on and off the court. And as Sophie continues to build this loyal fan base, one jersey sale at a time, it's clear that the future of athlete branding in the WNBA could look very different from what we've seen before. This section dives into how Sophie's jersey sellout represents the power of authenticity in building a brand. It emphasizes that her success isn't about hype but about genuine fan connection, setting her apart from the league's usual marketing strategies. As Sophie Cunningham's star continued to rise, it wasn't long before the backlash started to surface. Players like Reese, who have relied on drama, theatrics, and manufactured rivalries to stay in the spotlight, suddenly found themselves in the shadows. Sophie's success was a wake-up call. She wasn't just gaining attention, she was proving that fans don't need the typical circus that often surrounds star athletes in the WNBA. The backlash wasn't just about jealousy, it was about fear. Fear that Sophie's authenticity was exposing a deeper issue within the league. For years, athletes like Reese Reese built their brands around carefully curated images and viral moments. They were the face of the WNBA's attempt to generate visibility through spectacle and drama. But Sophie Cunningham's rise was different. She wasn't playing into the hype or the drama. She was simply being herself, and that's what fans were connecting with. This created a rift, especially for players who had built their entire image on being the show. Reese, in particular, seemed to struggle with the shift. While her strategy focused on attention-grabbing behavior, Sophie showed that there was a better, more sustainable way to build a fan base, by staying true to your game and letting the world see your real personality. And it's not just Reese who's feeling the heat. Other players who have used similar tactics of manufactured beef and flashy personas are starting to realize that Sophie's success represents a new era in the WNBA. One where talent, consistency, and authenticity aren't just an afterthought. They're the foundation. The fear is that if the league shifts too much toward realness, the athletes who have relied on the smoke and mirrors will be left behind. But Sophie's proving that there's no need for the theatrics when the game itself is enough to keep fans hooked. This section explores the backlash from other players, particularly Angel Reese, who are threatened by Sophie's organic rise. It highlights the tension between manufactured celebrity and authentic popularity, showing how Sophie's success disrupts the WNBA's traditional marketing strategies. What Sophie Cunningham's rise truly signifies is a shift in what fans are looking for in athletes. And it's a shift that goes beyond the WNBA. Fans aren't just gravitating toward who has the most followers or the best endorsement deals anymore. They're seeking something real, something raw. They want athletes who are unapologetically themselves, who show up for the game, put in the work, and don't need a flashy narrative to back up their greatness. And Sophie is the epitome of that new wave. In an era where everything feels curated, overproduced, and often inauthentic, Sophie's no-nonsense approach is like a breath of fresh air. Fans are tired of the over-the-top performances, the real-life drama manufactured by PR teams, and the endless push for visibility at any cost. What they want is someone who feels like they could be their friend, someone who doesn't need to scream for attention, but instead lets their skill and personality speak for themselves. Sophie's ability to tap into that desire is why her fan base is growing faster than most could have predicted. This shift in fan expectations is more than just a trend. It's a revolution in how athletes can build their brand. While some players are still chasing the viral moments and trying to figure out how to win social media, Sophie is quietly dominating by sticking to what matters, being consistent, staying authentic, and focusing on her game. And fans are taking notice. It's clear now that authenticity isn't just the key to success in the WNBA, it's the key to success in today's sports culture overall. The old playbook of chasing viral fame and fake rivalries is fading fast. Fans are no longer willing to invest in a character that doesn't resonate with them on a deeper level. Sophie Cunningham is leading the charge for a new era of athletes who aren't afraid to just be themselves. And that shift is one the WNBA can't afford to ignore, no matter how hard they try to force their old formula of gimmicks and staged narratives. This section emphasizes the evolving fan expectations, showing how Sophie's rise is reflective of a broader trend in sports, one where authenticity, consistency, and realness matter more than carefully crafted personas or manufactured moments. It positions Sophie as a leader in this shift, challenging the old methods and inspiring a new wave of athlete branding. Sophie Cunningham is proving that the blueprint for stardom in the WNBA doesn't have to follow the same old, overproduced formula. While the league has long been obsessed with controlling narratives, Sophie has shown that the most powerful way to connect with fans is through genuine, unscripted moments. She didn't need a massive PR team, no viral drama, and certainly no manufactured storylines to capture the spotlight. She simply needed to stay true to herself. What's fascinating about Sophie's rise is that it's not just about her basketball skills. It's about the way she navigates the modern sports world with emotional intelligence and brand instincts that others are still trying to figure out. While many players focus on marketing gimmicks or drama-filled rivalries, Sophie's rise is a testament to the fact that being authentic can be just as powerful, if not more so. She's selling out jerseys and building a loyal fan base without relying on external forces, and that's a game changer. The WNBA is at a crossroads, and Sophie is leading the charge for a new era of athlete branding. If the league doesn't take note of what she's accomplishing, how her no-nonsense approach is earning her real respect and attention, they might find themselves stuck in the same old cycle of chasing attention rather than earning it. Sophie's journey is showing the league and other players that the key to real success isn't playing by someone else's rules. It's about forging your path, staying true to your authentic self, and letting your performance do the talking. In an era where authenticity is the ultimate currency, Sophie Cunningham Cunningham has created the playbook for what it means to be a true superstar. She's proving that success doesn't have to be manufactured. It can be built on consistency, realness, and staying grounded in what you do best. And that's a lesson the WNBA and all athletes would be wise to learn. This section highlights how Sophie is shaping a new formula for superstardom, focusing on her authenticity and proving that true success doesn't require manufactured drama or staged narratives. It underscores the potential shift in athlete branding and how Sophie is leading the charge in this new era. Sophie Cunningham's rise is more than just a personal success. It's a wake-up call for the entire WNBA. For years, the league has relied on carefully crafted images, flashy promotions, and viral stunts to build its stars. But Sophie is showing that there's a more sustainable, authentic way to captivate fans. And in the process, she's forcing the league to confront an uncomfortable truth. It's not about chasing the next viral moment, but about nurturing real talent and letting players be who they truly are. The WNBA can no longer afford to ignore the lessons Sophie is teaching. As fans continue to flock to athletes like her, athletes who embrace their authentic selves and let their talent speak for itself, the league will have to reassess how it markets its stars. The old playbook, with its focus on influencers and gimmicks, is falling flat. The future of the WNBA lies in embracing athletes like Sophie, who don't need to rely on the smoke and mirrors of corporate branding to connect with their audience. The league needs to build its stars from the ground up, focusing on real stories, real personalities, and most importantly, real performances. In a world where athletes are constantly under pressure to conform to a mold, Sophie Cunningham is proving that staying true to yourself is the ultimate way to stand out. She's not just challenging the old systems within the WNBA, she's showing how athletes everywhere can carve their path to stardom. The future of the league is in the hands of those who dare to be real, and Sophie's already leading the charge. The question is, will the WNBA finally catch up and allow its stars to shine without the unnecessary noise? One thing's for sure, the way forward isn't through manufactured hype, it's through authenticity. And if the WNBA wants to stay relevant, it will have to start celebrating that realness, just like Sophie Cunningham has. This section focuses on the future of the WNBA, emphasizing that the league must embrace authenticity and real talent rather than relying on gimmicks. It reinforces how Sophie's rise is reshaping the way athletes are marketed and sets the stage for the league to evolve in a more genuine direction. Sophie Cunningham's rise isn't just a story about a basketball player making a name for herself. It's a blueprint for how athletes can thrive in a world that's constantly chasing the next big thing. She didn't rely on gimmicks or manufactured drama. Instead, Sophie built her success on something far more powerful: authenticity. In an industry that's often obsessed with image, she proved that being genuine, staying true to yourself, and letting your talent speak for itself is the key to lasting success. Her journey challenges the WNBA and the sports world at large to reconsider what it means to build a brand. It's not about forcing visibility or chasing the latest trends. It's about connecting with fans on a deeper level through honesty and consistency. As Sophie continues to make waves, her rise is more than just personal success. It's a movement that could shape the future of sports culture. So, as the spotlight shines brighter on Sophie, the real question is, will the WNBA embrace the shift she represents? Will they start focusing on athletes who lead with authenticity, or will they continue to chase after fleeting fame and flashy trends? The future of the league depends on it, and Sophie Cunningham has already shown them the way. This conclusion ties together the entire narrative, reinforcing the idea that Sophie's authenticity is the key to her success and challenges the WNBA to rethink its approach to branding and star making. It ends with a thought-provoking note on the future of the league.